Yeah, hello everybody. Teaserking. Just finished my pro video. Now I'm coming up with my college video. Huge week last week, 8-2 in college. Very strong. I was very careful. I played what I thought was smart plays: Marshall over Navy, the Army under, Nevada over Cal, Alabama over. The new quarterback. Watched Ohio State, got a flavor of them. Michigan, a little different. Michigan State. So I'm watching the teams, trying to get a feel. Who are they this year? Because they all change every year with the new players moving on, new coaches. So it was a very good week, 8-2. I lost Indy because Michael Penix threw 2 pick sixes. They didn't have much of an offense. He had hurt his knee. Apparently, he's not ready. Bad play calling, I feel. And, he's throwing outs for pick sixes. Don't call it. Or the quarterback's got to, do a better job, or just don't call those plays. I usually blame the offensive coordinator for those interceptions because usually those outs are such stupid plays. You gain 3 yards or you're going to give up a pick six. How many pick sixes have you seen on that? So anyway, here's week 2. And first I want to give you my A teams and Z teams real quickly. The Z teams are the lousy teams, the teams that you get 11 guys at the poker room and they could beat the team. That's how bad they are. They have very weak offenses, terrible quarterbacks, very weak defenses, give up a lot of points. That's who I like to target. Because when I get a good quarterback and a good offense going against them, they're going to light it up, score 50 points. And usually the spreads are maybe in the 30s. And then they like Pitt threw up a 50 against, I think it was Massachusetts or Connecticut, some really weak team. And that Pitt will never score 50 the rest of the year, but they did it here. So I'm going to quickly go through the Z's. Connecticut, Louisiana Monroe, Stanford, Temple, Massachusetts, Akron, Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt, Washington, maybe. I'm not sure. They lost the freaking Montana. So we'll see after Michigan. If Michigan rolls them, then they'll be a Z. Right now, it's a question where let's see how bad they really are. Southern Miss, LSU. They're not a Z, going to be an over team. I hate their quarterback. He's terrible just because the dad was in the Super Bowl. His dad was not good in the pros. He looked terrible. His whole mechanics looked terrible. His decision-making was terrible. All he would do is throw the ball to number 1, and he would, he'd move and he'd score by himself. But I do not like their quarterback. So hold on for LSU. Arizona is supposed to be a Z team. I don't know. They threw for a lot of yards. Let's see. Washington State lost to Utah State. So at first I thought they were Z, but Utah State's Arkansas State. So they're not as bad as they were Utah State. So I'm not sure Washington State's a Z. Hold on for that. For sure, Old Dominion, Kansas, Northwestern, Colorado State, Tulsa, South Florida, Bowling Green, New Mexico, Vegas, Hawaii, and New Mexico State. Now, these can change. This is what I see right now. Now, if all of a sudden they switch quarterbacks and they turn it on to a better team, I'll take them off the Z list. But right now we bet against the Zs. That's the whole point of finding them. One thing that happened to me years ago was South Florida. They were a Z team. They were terrible, and they switched quarterbacks, and my man Quentin Flower gets in the game. All of a sudden, they go from scoring 5 points a game and giving up 40. They scored 40 in a game, and they won. And I'm scratching my head because I always ask myself, why did I lose? What drove me to make the pick? Well, I saw South Florida, and they don't have an offense. And then I saw they switched quarterbacks. So you wonder what the coach is thinking, that he didn't play the quarterback to start with, sees the guy stinks and says, okay, I'll try you. So the coach, most of these coaches have no eye for talent. They play the wrong guy in the quarterback. An example was Monday night with Mackenzie Milton, my man. for Florida State. Why didn't he start? So that you bring in this guy who stinks, throws 3 picks, just dumps the ball, can't read a blitz, and then you bring in Mackenzie Milton down 19. What happens? You tie the game up. Oh, what would have happened if you started Mackenzie Milton and you didn't play your stupid games of, well, gee, I'll play that guy because he's a running quarterback against Notre Dame. What kind of idiot coach is that? Then he brings in the superstar, and the superstar bails you out. So I'm assuming he's going to play Mackenzie Milton going forward. So I had Florida State. That was the bet, was Mackenzie Milton, and you can see when he came in what he did. That's why I bet Florida State. So I hate when the coaches stick around and don't understand talent and play the wrong guy, and then all of a sudden they switch and the other guy's the superstar, and you're like, didn't you see him? And that screws up the Z's. So that's what I keep looking for. So there's some in each conference, like the MAC, Akron, Bowling Green. I thought there was a third one that are real weak. A Connecticut, a UMass, Louisiana Monroe. So you're basically looking for a good team to play them, laying about 20, and especially like Louisiana Monroe. Louisiana Lafayette's a really strong team. Well, let's say they play and they can score. They're going to put up, and the spread's only going to be 14 or 20. Then that's your lock is Louisiana Lafayette. They're going to score 50 on them, and Louisiana Monroe is so bad they can't score, and they're going to give up a ton of points. So that's what you're really looking for in the Z's. That's why I'm saying these. So they all have weak defenses, and some have good quarterback. They usually don't have a good quarterback, so they usually are not scoring and giving up a lot. That's what I consider a Z team. The good teams, the strong teams now, the ones you look for to bet as dogs and not too bad favorites or against Z teams. Florida State looked really good. Army, how they scored 43 points, I don't know, but I won on the under. That's all I care about. Penn State going into Wisconsin, unbelievable. Tulane going into Oklahoma, should have won that game. Fresno State, very strong. Of course, Alabama. Cincinnati's killer. Marshall, killer. Central Michigan is a play team. They're not an A team, but they're a play team. They've got a good offense. They'll score. They'll keep you in the game in the MAC. Not if they go against Ohio State, but against Missouri, they only lost by 10. But they got a pretty good, they're well coached, and they got a good offense. Louisiana Lafayette, I love them in conference again. Texas beat them, but in conference, you bet Louisiana. USC, I love Slovis, very good quarterback. Liberty's a strong team. Texas State, stronger than, again, in the conference. Arkansas State, explosive. Toledo. You watch Toledo give Notre Dame a game this week. Texas Tech looks a lot stronger, looked good against Houston. This is the old Utah State coach who made Jordan Love a good quarterback. Now he's got his players and his system, and with COVID, so they looked really good against Houston, who can throw the ball. They had like 4 picks. So look for Texas Tech to be strong this year. Texas San Antonio, I warned you they would beat Illinois, and they beat Illinois. Very good running attack, very strong in conference. Again, you don't know it. Texas State, North Texas, you don't know. They all get jumbled. But UTSA, Texas San Antonio, very strong running team, good team. Georgia, of course. You can't look at the offense when Georgia plays Clemson. You can't say, well, the quarterback looked bad. It's Clemson. Okay, you're playing a pro defense. They drove down a few times. He didn't look great, JT, but he's okay. But when they play lesser teams, he'll dominate. The running attack looked okay in spots, but again, the defense shut Clemson down. But I don't love Clemson's quarterback. So again, I think they're very strong again this year. I don't think they're at Alabama's level, but we'll see. We'll see them against a normal team. You can't really judge their offense against Clemson's defense. Texas A&M, strong defense, looked better. South Alabama, very strong quarterback. They killed Southern Miss, who, was a good team. They killed them. Look for UCLA, very live dog. But like their quarterback. The running back from Michigan looks unbelievable. And there's Michigan's problem. They had the guy. They gave him the ball 9 times last year. Maybe he sat out from COVID. I don't know. And they, he said, "Screw you guys." And then here he goes for UCLA, and the guy's a superstar. So look for UCLA. I don't think they have a great defense, but their offense looks very strong. They'll keep you in games. Nevada goes to Cal, beats them. Good quarterback, very good team in their conference. Utah State, as I said, are now Arkansas State, and Arkansas State was very explosive. The coach and the quarterback are from Arkansas State, so look for them to score more. They're not an A team. But they're more of an over team, more of an offensive team. Charlotte looks strong. They beat Duke. Coastal Carolina, love the quarterback. This is the best small team. And since they're right there with Cincinnati, they will score. This quarterback's unbelievable. He's up there with Mackenzie Milton, very strong. Buffalo, the money line guys, take Buffalo and the money line over Nebraska. Buffalo's getting 13 points against Nebraska. Buffalo's the better team. Look for Buffalo to win the game outright. But Buffalo is a very strong team, well coached, good quarterback, strong defense, strong running, very good team. They'd probably finish second or third in the Big Ten or the ACC. They'd be right up there playing with Clemson. This is a very good team. North Carolina State, don't know. We'll see. We'll get more against Mississippi State. And Arizona State's very strong this year. Good defense, good offense. So some of these are like the smaller ones are good in conference. You can't mess around like you're not like you had Fresno State. They played who did they play? USC or Fresno State. Well, they killed Connecticut, and then they played. I thought they played a second game. Yeah, they played Oregon, lost 31-24. So they went up against the big boys, and they played them well. So that's what I mean. But you get Fresno State in conference, for sure. Marshall in conference, Central, Louisiana Lafayette. Those teams in conference are very strong. Against an Alabama, they're going to get killed. But in conference, so against their strength, they're stronger than their other teams in their conference. So just keep that in mind. So let's look at some games here. I'm not going to go through everything. In college, there's way too many games. I'm going to go through the games I like. Coastal Carolina, 25 over Kansas. Again, it's an A team against a Z team. Kansas with no defense. Coastal Carolina with a great quarterback. They should score a ton on Kansas. They beat Kansas last year in Kansas. Look for Coastal Carolina to cruise. That's a Friday game. Going to Saturday, Western Kentucky Army laying 7. I don't take Army to win, but this over-under is 52, 53. Go under 59. Any game Army's in, and you can get into the 50s, you go under with it. Again, they're going to run the ball down their throats and play defense. And Georgia State has a pretty good offense. They shut them out. So I don't see Western Kentucky, who's got a pretty good quarterback. But, again, they held Oklahoma 21-21 at the end of regulation. So Army can play defense, very well coached. It's funny, teams like Michigan, Nebraska, how can I replace Harbaugh? You replace him with the Army coach and you'll win. I guarantee you that. He's a great coach. Very good. Ohio State, Oregon. Ohio State laying 14.5. I don't trust the new quarterback yet. If it was Fields, I'd bet it. So it's kind of hard to go 8.5 against Oregon. They did beat a good Fresno State team. I think the over should be the play at 63, but it's hard. Again, with the new quarterback, are they going to score? But I think what the game against Minnesota showed me that Oregon can score on them, and Ohio State's going to score. They get that defensive touchdown. So I think this is an over game more than lay the 8.5. But it should be a good ball game. Florida 28 over South Florida. This is a tough one because South Florida is terrible, but Florida's quarterbacks are running quarterbacks. So it's like Lamar Jackson. So he should run for a lot. They ran for a lot of yards. They didn't pass for anything. So now they become a running team, and that's dangerous. Running teams don't win. Oklahoma. Running quarterbacks. So I don't know how good their defense is. So it's a watch game, but let's see how Florida's quarterback can throw. Georgia Southern against Florida Atlantic. I got Florida Atlantic as lousy, and I got Georgia Southern as a pretty good team. I know they run the ball a lot like Navy, Army and Navy. So you're going to get that. Florida Atlantic's favored by 7. I don't get that. I have Georgia Southern favored by 4. And here I got Florida Atlantic laying 7. I like Georgia Southern in 13 here. I think that's the way to go. I think you can trust them. I don't see Florida Atlantic you're gonna blow them out. They don't have a good defense, and their quarterback didn't instill me with a lot of confidence. Let's see. Rutgers Syracuse. Rutgers is running the wide open spread offense now. They're not running the old offense. So they've been to Ohio State. They're laying 2.5 to Syracuse, who look good beating a good Ohio team. I like Rutgers in the game, getting 3.5, and I really like the over 52. I think Rutgers is going to score a lot, and I think Syracuse, their coach is a scoring coach. He came from Bowling Green, where they were lighting it up. Syracuse never lit it up here in the ACC, but I do think they can score on. I don't think Rutgers has this great defense, but I think Rutgers is going to put up a lot of points in this game. I just don't think Syracuse has the defense to stop them. So I like Rutgers, and I like the over. Either one. Over only 52-46 for Rutgers is nothing. Again, they're not playing Alabama or Clemson or Georgia. They're playing Syracuse, so that game should go way over. Just a FYI, Notre Dame 16 over Toledo, over under 55. I think this game goes over. Notre Dame scored a lot on Florida State. Toledo's defense is not nearly that. Graham looks okay at quarterback. Toledo should score. They're a pretty good offensive team. So I think over 55 is the play in this game. Purdue 34 over Connecticut. They beat Oregon State, Purdue. They score a lot. Connecticut's terrible. Again, 11 guys in the poker room could beat Connecticut. They have no defense. I know the number is 34, but I see Purdue just scoring. I mean, they're gonna. This is a game they can win, and Purdue needs in college you need the 6 wins or 7 wins to get bowl eligible. So when you have an opportunity to play at Connecticut, you're not going to be flat. You're not going to look ahead. You're going to blow them out because this is the one time you can. Look for Purdue to kill Connecticut because Connecticut's terrible. Penn State, Ball State. Penn State's laying 23. Probably will beat Ball State. Ball State's not a bad team, though. They're not a Z team. But Penn State, after playing Wisconsin, are they going to be flat or are they going to be emotional? We got that win. Now they're at home and look for a big effort. So they could blow out Ball State. They certainly they had some nice passes against the tough Wisconsin defense. So they'll be lucky. They'll be happy to see a Ball State defense. I'm not crazy about it. It's a big spread, but I think Penn State gets the win. Temple plays Akron. You got Z playing Z. There's nothing you can do there. Just watch it. See who the worst Z is, I guess. Keep an eye on Georgia, UAB. UAB is a very good team. Georgia, let's see what their offense looks like against the UAB team. I don't think UAB scores a lot. Over under 45. I don't know. It's a hard one to call. I want to see Georgia against this type of team, and I want to see UAB against the Georgia. I think UAB is a very good team here. So I'm not sure which way to go on it. I think the spread's a little high, 26. I had it at 21. So it's a good game to watch and learn. Buffalo, Nebraska. Nebraska laying. I had Buffalo favorite in the game. Nebraska's laying 13.5. Enough said. Take out a mortgage, sell your gold, bet every piece of gold you have on Buffalo. Buffalo will win the game outright. Money line it. 13 and a half. Explain to me why Nebraska's a 13 and a half point. They lost to freaking Illinois, and then they beat Lehigh. Who's Lehigh? Now, Buffalo, yes, they beat another nobody, but Buffalo is a strong MAC team, a MAC champ, playing this big game. Nebraska is not Alabama. They're not Ohio State. Nebraska is a mid Big Ten team. Okay, Buffalo in the Big Ten would be better than Nebraska. Buffalo is the better team, better coach, better quarterback, better defensive team in this game. They're very good. They have a good quarterback and good running backs and good defense. Nebraska cannot stop a running team and a balanced team, and their defense is just they'll take away Martinez. What else does Nebraska have? Look for Buffalo to win the game straight out. There you go. This is the game right here. Iowa State laying 4.5 to Iowa, over under 46. I like the game under. I think Iowa is a very strong team, but they lost their running back. He graduated. That's why they didn't score a lot. They both have very strong defenses. This is a defensive game and a defensive play. 46, you go under 52. That's the play. Iowa on 10.5 should be good, but they got the pick sixes, so it's deceiving. 14 of their points came on pick sixes, so they only really scored 19 on Indiana. Indiana's a very good team. Don't kid yourself. I just don't see Iowa scoring a lot on Iowa State. Iowa State's a fabulous team. They're a top 10 team, and Iowa's probably a top 15 team. So you got that. Normally it's a dog play, but I love the under in the game. So go under 52. South Alabama laying 14 to Bowling Green. You got A versus Z. South Alabama is a very explosive team. Bowling Green couldn't beat the poker room. Take South Alabama. Here's what I'm talking about. It's only 14.5. You go down to 8.5 is nothing. They'll kill Bowling Green. That's what you're looking for. Miami, App State. Miami's only 8.5. I had Miami favored by 17. They're not playing Alabama this week. They want revenge. They're pissed off that they got embarrassed. They need a big win. App State, I don't like their quarterback. He's a Clemson transfer that sucked at Duke last year. Now he's at App State because he couldn't handle Duke. App State's normally good, but I think Miami at home goes crazy here against an Alabama team. They're not playing an Alabama team, so look for them to they need to win. Let's see. North Carolina State, Mississippi State. Both teams are over, and the over-under is only 55. I love the over 49 in this game, NC State, Mississippi State. I think that's the way to play it. Watch the Utah-BYU game. I think Utah can beat them. Arizona State, Vegas. Again, Arizona State. Vegas is kind of a weak team. Well, it's a big line. Be careful. And then USC should blow out Stanford. Stanford's not very good. USC laying 17 down to 11. I think USC blows them out there. Oregon State 11 over Hawaii. They should beat them, but get used to Oregon State. So that's all the picks. Again, I have 2 locks going this week. I have a pro lock and I have a college pro lock. The keys betting against the Z teams. That's really what you're looking for. Take advantage. So like the Bowling Green South Alabama game, you're betting against the Z team with an A team. South Alabama killed Southern Miss, so that's an equal. And here you get into Bowling Green, who's really bad. So that's the type of games you're looking for. Or if they're both good, or if you get a mismatch line like the Buffalo line, that's really that's where you bet and bet big. So that's week number 2. Again, www.teaserking.com. Like I said, just go to the website, and if you buy both, You get all the locks. If you buy the Pro, you get the Pro locks, the colors locks. You can buy just the locks. You can buy the month. You can buy the year. I've had several people buy the year. I've lowered it down to $750. I'll throw it down to $700. It's not a problem. And then the months only had several buyers buy the month, which is $200 for Pro, and $200 for college. And I think it's $300 for both, something like that. Very affordable when you look at 4 weeks. Again, going 8 and 2 last week. So anyway, if you have any questions, go to the site www.teaserking.com. I leave it in my notes in the video, and then you feel free to email me with any questions you have. Okay, everybody, good luck. Have a great weekend, and I hope we make a lot of money this weekend.